Splitgate 2 is in dire straits, so turn the volume up and let's talk about it. The game had a terrible launch at beta where it didn't work for about 36 hours upon launch, so it got review bombed online for that, which I don't think is fair, like it wasn't a beta, so I do feel for the developers in that sense. The reason for that was this game was meant to have live challenges where it updated during the game and you could see your progress. Apparently there was an overload on the service, it got too much, so just everything didn't work on that. They then had to get this game into a state that I could make a launch. Really wanted Games Fest, Imagine Dragons trailer, Battle Royale, take the market by storm. So because the game was rushed to make this deadline of Imagine Dragons, and Imagine Dragons was the keyest point, and Game Fest and have the full launch, the game launched with missing a lot of features. Yeah, it was more promises. It was more promises than anything that, hey, ranked mode's coming, these challenges are coming, and we're going to get mastery camos, and it's all going to be fixed. And then a lot of the community had a lot of feedback, especially when it came to servers, and I thought that was going to get fixed. So there was a real problem where, and it's happened to so many people, you can look online, I'm not talking rubbish, where it would just shove you in EU servers. The amount of times I was in a game, and I'm in Australia, so you can imagine the latency in that, where people are talking Spanish as well. There's no way in the game to put yourself in a region, there's no way in the game to see what your latency is, which I find very odd in 2025 to not be able to see that. And it would be handy in games today to know what my latency is or to know what my ping is, just to know that, oh, that shit, there must be something going on with the internet. Because I feel like I'm losing firefights that I should be winning. I'm pretty decent at shooters, and today was a real grind for me. Like, it was really rough, and I'll get to that in a moment. So it launches ranked. So many problems with it. Like, out of the gate, they still hadn't fixed that region issue. The balancing of a lot of the weapons still hadn't been done. It's kind of being done now, but it seems to be like one at a time, which I understand. They're looking for the long game approach. But that's how, in my mind, I would suggest that this game probably still should be in beta. But they obviously had so many financial restrictions and pressures from aboard above them to release a game and start making money ASAP. That has all but been confirmed in the second update that the Splitgate developers had. So that they said that they were in the means to rush this game out. And just after the launch, after not doing too well, and bear in mind, a lot of video games developers do this once a game launches, they got rid of several staff members, and they're not the biggest place in the world either. So it was quite a big loss that they did lose. I think it was 11 staff. So then the CEOs came out and said, hey, we won't take a paycheck. One of them's the son of the co-founder of QuickBooks, so I don't think he's living week to week. I think he might be okay for money. But it's just clear that this game wasn't ready at launch, and it really should still be in beta, I feel. I feel like if this game was still in beta, it wouldn't be crazy right now. We wouldn't be having any worries, and then they could go full launch when this game is ready. The status of ranked right now is terrible. Having no placement matches, I thought was a refreshing idea. I was like, oh, that would be nice, like just everyone's in bronze. It is the sweatiest thing in the world with a broken game, and there's nothing worse than sweat with a game that doesn't work. So it's just everyone's in bronze because there's no way to really get out of that hell, right? Like. And so you'll just, what usually would my experience be is that I'll pretty much rush into gold, and then it will start to be, oh, I need to start waking up once I start to get to that. Whatever the next, it's usually a diamond. That's usually when I need to start like really waking up and really applying myself. Right now, if you play ranked, you are playing, especially if you're playing by yourself, you're playing with 3 people that don't have a microphone. I played for 4 hours today, and I had one game where people spoke. And that was it. Everyone else, no one talks, no one says anything in the game. And you're playing up against so many teams that have 4 that are clearly in a party, or at least 2 or 3 of them. And they just whitewash you. It doesn't matter what you do personally. Like, there's games that I've done pretty well, and you're still losing rank. So it is so hard to get out of it. And for those teams that are partied up, they're also going up against partied teams that are in the same level as them. So their progression isn't super quick. They're not getting out of that. The other thing that I found is there'll just be games where you just come up against a team of, like, top 100 players. And you're like, oh, fucking amazing. That's exactly what I wanted, actually. They also did it with the game modes that fans didn't really want. Like, people didn't want, especially, I would say, split ball in that. Takedown really lends itself to ranked, I feel. Like, it's a really good mode for ranked. But no, they just never went down that route. Then you got the Battle Royale. I don't think it's very popular. You look at most people playing it's not great at the moment. And the player numbers are just really dwindling. Like, this game is actually really in trouble. As I was saying, as a time of recording, I think 810 people are playing it online right now on PC. And I know the developers say, well, console players are well and truly eclipsing that. It will tell me in a game if someone's on Xbox. And I think within the 4 hours, I ran into maybe like 12 people that were playing it on Xbox. So unless this is the greatest selling game on PlayStation, this game really has problems. It really does have issues. And I don't know how it's making money, because you look at the store and the microtransaction side of things, there's nothing that really leaps out there for me. And they mention that and I think like the fundamental thing of why this is so frustrating, because again, there's so many balancing issues still to this day, and they still haven't fixed. They said they fixed the server issue, but they haven't, and they haven't fixed matchmaking when it comes to the level that you're playing in ranked. And there's been a lot of time to fix this. I think the server thing's gotten a lot better, but there was still 2 games today where I was definitely in a European server, and I was like, I don't understand why. And it wasn't like I was waiting for 10 minutes and then it's like, all right, we'll expand the ping. So I just don't know what's going on with the game in general. And the real problem is because you don't get that real-time feedback of your ping or anything, when you start losing fights, you don't know why, and it is really frustrating. And I know it sounds like, oh, it's just a video game, but like the whole idea to have a video game is to have fun or challenge yourself or both. And you can't do that with this game right now. And it's so frustrating because you can see how good this game could be, but it's just nowhere near it. And I think what really like thrusted me, because even I would say this morning I was still in like a positive mindset. I was like, no, they'll get it together, they'll fix it up. And I watched the last content update that that the Splitgate team did, which involves 2 of their CEOs and their marketing manager or content manager. And at the end, they said, "Oh, this is exactly what we did with Splitgate. You know, it wasn't perfect when we launched, and then we worked at it for 2 years, and then a game that we were really proud of came out of it." You're not going to have this time. Like, COVID isn't going to be there to release, to slow the release of a lot of games where there was a bit of a gulf there. You're getting a lot of games coming out on console that are going to steal a lot of the market, and this game is just going to fall through the cracks completely. Like right now, player count rise, Red Alert 2 Command and Conquer, it has more players than them. If I look at Twitch, outside of one guy that's getting 600 views watching this, and I'd say he's just a bigger streamer, the next closest is 6. Like, no one is watching this game. Not many people playing the game. It's really lost its interest. And I just have a feeling that this game might just be kind of like Dead Man Walking a little bit. Even this month, like Hold Fast Nations at War comes out on console, and it's going to be quite cheap. And that comes out tomorrow. I think it's Wildgate, which looks like the Sea of Thieves games, but it's like spaceships. That comes out in about a week or 2. You got Ready or Not coming out really soon. And then come towards the later end of the year, you've got Arc Raiders, Marathon, if that takes off. Lord knows what's going on with that. Battlefield, you got your Call of Duties again. This game isn't surviving that. The time for it to work was now, and I really invested a lot of time in it, and I really thought they were going to turn around, and they just haven't. And that's where it's at with the game. It's just a mess. Like, it's still so broken, and I really reckon that they should have just delayed things. And I know that sucks, and I know it's really hard to do when you got financial pressures from above. And I think one of the board members on the developer is the dad that used to that co-founded QuickBooks. So I would say they have an aggressive board that wants to see, and investors that wants to see some of the money come back. It's just not going to happen. It really isn't. And I hope whatever they spend on that Imagine Dragon song and the content creators to play this game in that first week, I hope it was worth it, because it's received no momentum from there. I feel, and I just feel like not many people are playing it anymore. It's just starting to fall away again. Like I said, every day now seems to be a couple of hundred players just sort of fall off, and it just keeps happening. So I just don't know what they do from here. And it goes to show that, like, you can't make a game that isn't complete and expect the players to just deal with it. And I think this is, like, there's a lot of flack back, I think, on gamers themselves, but like, this ultimately has become a bit of a waste of time, I think, for a lot of people, and it's just such a shame, because I was so keen for this game, but it's just like every step this hasn't worked. And I think the biggest worry for me is they just didn't learn from their mistakes from the first game. That's usually what happens. Like the first game, yeah, right, it's a new developer, it's fine. They're just repeating the same mistakes again, and it's like, well, this game isn't going to be around in 2 years for you to improve it. Like it's just not. Like it's just not going to be worth it. The player base is going to give up on it, and they'll go away. And this game needs a player base for a ranked scene. I would say that this game, its crux is a real ranked scene. Without that, I mean, there's going to be so many other games that people are going to go to. Anyway, if you did make it this far, it was a bit of a doom and gloom video, but I'm frustrated. And I think this is the last video I'm going to make on Splitgate 2 for very long time, unless it really turns around. I might still play it here and there. I do like to sort of clock all the achievements on the games that I do get, and I review on the channel. And I do, is it fun and those sort of things. But it's just such a shame. This game, really, you could feel the potential of it, and it just hasn't worked out. So it's just like, okay, well, it might just be time, I think, to move on. And if I'm thinking it's time to move on, and my brother, who also played it, is thinking it's time to move on, I can't imagine, I'm the only one. And the stats sort of show it. They can sort of hide behind that, oh no, it's really good on console, but I'm guessing the same thing's happening. Like, it's taking longer and longer to find a game. And I'm just not invested in it. And I think that's a real worry. And it's not a sour, like, I mean, today was a real struggle for me, like, playing. Like, I feel like I was winning gunfights, but I'd somehow lose them. And there's some games, some days you're just off, and it just happens. I really feel like a lot of them weren't my fault. And it's just, you're just playing against like a base that just isn't at your level in rank 2 right now. So maybe, when rank seasons sort of progress, this game might start evening out and leveling out, and there might be a happy place. But I just can't see it happening, honestly. And the fact that there's no crossplay for ranked, or there's no way to turn up, like, make it consoles only. That would be a good way to, I think, get around PC, because on the rank side of things. But that's, yeah, I don't even know if that was the problem, because you can't tell if you're you can only tell if you're playing with someone on Xbox. That's it. You can't see whether it's PlayStation or computer or not. Anyway, what do you agree with me? Put that in the comment down below. Or are you against it? Are you loving this game? If so, why are you liking the game? Explain that down the bottom, because there might be something I'm missing here, and then, it might just be me that's a bit sour right now. And hit the like button if you did like this video, just because then it algorithms the algorithm to someone else, and then they get to watch the video. So yeah, sorry about the negative video. I'm just a bit frustrated. We've had a few crappy games lately, and I wouldn't say that this is crappy, but it's just, I think the worst thing about this game is you see the potential. You really can see the potential, but it's just so wasted. And I just don't think I'm going to wait a year for it to get good. It's not like it's a startup anymore. These guys have been making games since 2019, I think it was when Splitgate launched, maybe 2020. So they should have a bit more of an understanding of things by now. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'm going to edit this up, cut this up. I might play a little bit of games tonight. There's a fair few games coming out tomorrow, so I've got a lot going on. We're doing a lot of reviews on the channel. I'm going to sleep at some point. Don't know when. But yeah, that's the plan pretty much. So I'm Brenton. This is Redolin Live. I'm out of here. Bye.